And we are on. That was...
It's only 3 of us.
What?
It's only 3 of us who answered.
It was 3 of us last time.
Oh yeah, totally. We can do it again.
Well, when there's 3 of us, we can actually end it at 1 hour, so... maybe it's a plus. Anyway, just wait. It's at 65%. Just hold on for the episode, okay? Okay?
Finally.
Okay?
Oh, we got a
I can win
4 person.
Never mind, we got 4.
Improvement.
I'm not even sure why I'm laughing. Anyway, does anyone remember our topic? Because I do.
I do as well.
Sorry, Bernie of the Year, you may or may not be able to participate very well in this topic, but this is about our reviewing background, and you may or may not make videos. So, sorry, but... yeah. So, anyway, who's gonna start off?
I think, like, the host should start first.
Alrighty then, but it's not gonna be too long. Basically, I'm a critique about everything, but I'm the nice critic. I'm way too overly nice. If you've ever seen the value reviews, I'm way too overly nice about episodes. And because of that, I don't really notice the bad stuff as much, so I tend to give episodes a lot better ratings than most people. Or not just MLP episodes, but like things in general. So I decided, since no one wants to hear me talk during the Avengers 2, that was fun.
That would be annoying.
I decided, since, you know, I'm a brony, and I do YouTube, I pretty much started making YouTube videos. But my first ones were obviously the theory videos. I just kind of started making reviews when new episodes started coming out.
I see.
So, Unova, how about you?
Alrighty then. This might get a little long, but hopefully you might appreciate it.
You can take my time.
What? What you said, Brony of the Year?
I'm not going. You can take my time.
Okay, so, essentially, for me, everything began around the time of Season 3, when the reviewing the hype became very evident with the rise of Digibrony, Tommy Oliver, and AMY Pony. I consider those 3 to be, like, the top 3 reviewers of, like, that Season 3 era of reviewing. Like, it was like my first time starting season, like, watching episodes. And then I caught wind of, like, a podcast that AMY Pony was doing called The Crepuscular Bronies Discuss, in which he and Biter would discuss episodes. And at the beginning as well, Digibrony was also a part of these podcasts. But then he left much earlier on for greener pastures, as it were. So like those 2 were like doing like reviews about the episodes that aired. It was also very interesting to hear the opinions. It was also like my first time hearing a fighter who has a reputation in this community for being one of the most logic-minded people you can ever find in a fandom ever. And as like they were discussing, like they were introducing like this new segment for their show, like 17 episodes in, called the Crepuscular Bronies Discuss Aftermath, in which like they would invite a couple of people to like their Google Hangout, in which they host like their podcast to do like a little bit of like have a audience participation. And that's where I first began like my reviewing, in which like I wanted to actively participate in stuff like that. So I became like a very well visited visitor for the Aftermath chat. But then when they wanted to get like a new host for like the Aftermath, they went with someone by the name of Jay Dione Pony, a brony review that used to review stuff around the time of season 3, but not so much anymore right now. And when like she was doing it, it was like, this is so great. This like I kind of felt a little bit jealous, and I really wanted to put like my own input, feeling like maybe I could contribute. And sooner than later, like around episode 26 of their podcast, I managed to get in as one of their co-hosts, as AMY was stepping out of during the podcast because he was starting to lose creativity for speaking about the podcast, but Biter wasn't, and he kind of needed a co-host. So I volunteered myself to be that person, and so that was how I was doing like my first act in the Brony community as like a podcast co-host for a reviewing podcast. And we were continually to talk about all these episodes for like over 30 episodes, which was like over a year. That's when I around the time that that was finishing up, I managed to get myself into a collab with Dr. Wolf, and I was able to do like one of his most earliest moments with Dr. Wolf, which was very shocking now looking at it at retrospect. Like one of the most unknown bronies was able to be like one of the most earliest moments with Dr. Wolf, and I just felt really happy about myself. And not only that, I also participated in like one of the largest collabs I've ever been a part of, with a brony reviewer by the name of Robin0928. If you know him from My Little Robin.
Yeah, I know him.
And also an editor that goes by the name of Dylan, even though his YouTube name is The Analysis Brownie. Like, we did like a whole 30-minute collab on the Driza crowd for 30 minutes. And it was like tax assuming because it took us 3 months in order to get that baby together. And continuing on, like, it also around the time of 1 year ago, I was able to also do a collab with a Redcord channel on 2 separate occasions, and after that, I was just blank. I stopped doing the podcast. I continued observing a lot of the brony reviewers, just hoping to find a way to start doing my own solo reviews, because that's what I actually wanted to do before getting on with more collaborations. And it took me all the way up until last July when I was able to get all my information together, thanks to a certain reviewer by the name of Shark Discusses. He recommended me on audio equipment such as the Blue Snowball that you're currently hearing me from, along with practicing myself, also pre-planning on what people I want to have on my team to work on me for reviews and such. This person has been able to help me so great with how I began my solo reviews, and because of that, I currently now have 4 reviews out. But I don't review episodes as they're coming out like a lot of people do. I'm doing reviews in the sense that I'm doing them based on arcs. So the arc I'm currently on is the Equestria Games arc, in which I'm reviewing all the episodes that have a relation with the Equestria Games, and show how their quality diminishes or increases with each episode. And I just finished up doing my review on Rainbow Falls, so the next episode would be the finale with the Equestria Games. That's the finale for my first reviewing arc. So that's how I became a reviewer, all thanks to the inspiration of AMY and Biter. Essentially, Biter really did help me when it came to developing my own sense of critiquing episodes, because before I was very nice about reviewing episodes like what you would consider yourself being Scootaloo. But thanks to Biter's showing off this sort of harsh critique about certain things, it seems almost emotionless, I sort of came up with a happy medium in which I would review episodes very passionately, but also very logically and strategically. I wouldn't just be someone that would summarize the episode, then get into a little bit of an episode. I would write down my reviews as a college paper. First, only giving a little bit of insight of what part of the episode I'm currently on, and then discussing my findings about it. and that would continue all the way through for my first solo reviews, and even to like my collabs I'm recently doing. So, yes, that is how I develop as a reviewer.
Well, there you go. Seems like you've landed a lot of collabs.
Oh yes, I kind of also, I currently have like this huge checklist of people that I wanted to collab on. Or like them looking for people to collab that I just wanted to agree to.
Yeah.
They won't be out for some time now.
I haven't collabed with too many people as of late. I've only collabed with Deep Thought, who is here, and Hallelujah Roni.
Yes, with a horrible microphone because my microphone is being sucky right now.
Aw, that's too bad, Deep Thought.
I know, I actually have to use...
I'm going to get myself a shotgun mic eventually.
When I use Ustream with everything, I actually have to use a different microphone than my Snowball, because what my Snowball apparently does, it filters out your guys' Skype, so you can barely hear you guys. Well, I'm just talking into it, so I have to use my default one, but at least I can use my Snowball for Skype itself, so it sounds decent enough.
Now, technically, I consider myself more of a shadow brony than anything else.
Whoa.
A shadow brony? What
A
is
shadow
that?
bolt.
Yeah. So, do you guys remember the episode Castlemania?
Yeah, that was a
Yes.
fun one.
Season 4? Okay, so remember the whole scare of the shadow pony? Like, who then
Yes.
appears at the end of the episode? Well, I'm kind of that thing, that shadowy figure watching everybody else be friends with everybody. I'm like at the background of it all, even though I have a YouTube
That's like
channel,
me
but
only.
not very
I don't even
popular.
watch.
Yeah.
Interesting.
basically, that's
What
why
were you
I
going to
consider
say?
myself a shadow brony.
Very interesting. Like when I saw like the moment about like the Shadow Pony revealing himself in the end of Castlemania, I kind of sort of fangasmed because I was thinking about a certain video game when I was thinking about his identity, Shadow Pony. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into too much detail about it because it'll probably give you guys a headache. But I'm pretty fangasming over like a lot of things that that's somewhat make me think about this certain game franchise.
So who's
Well, I
next
guess-
for the reviewing thing?
Guess that's the whole history thing covered.
Well, that's for one person anyways.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put too much effort into it.
Oh no, trust me. It's fine. We need a topic that'll last an hour anyway. Anyway, Deep Thought, you can explain your history.
Okay, so this all started back when I don't know if you guys know of a artist named Vest or David Delaney, but I used to watch his streams a lot, and he did, like on live stream and on Picarto, he does a lot of artwork, but he's also a really well-known brony, and he kept playing this, brony music, and he'd play some pony episodes, and I'd kind of roll my eye, and I'm going, ugh, pony. They're like, we get it, you don't like ponies. And then I heard the song Sleep by Echelon, which became, like, one of my favorite songs. I'm like, wait a minute, this song sounds really cool, I need to check this out. And then I heard Twilight say, we're on the precipice of disaster. I'm like, wait, I just learned a new word. Let's see what's going on. And then it just spiraled on from there. And that's how I got into kind of sort of the background of the community, was through that action. But I didn't start reviewing until 2 years after, or looking into the episodes until 2 years after, until I ran across Anthony C. and a person named Josh Scorcher, or the Fiery Joker, who was introduced by another person named Digibro. And so I was looking at Anthony C., I was looking at Josh Scorcher, and they were doing things so differently from most reviewers. I'm like, hey, that would be like a fun thing to do. but I didn't just want to rip the episodes apart. I wanted to see the deeper meaning into things. And so, Season 4 was ending, it was ended, and I decided, well, Season 5 is a fresh start, I'll jump in on Season 5. And ironically enough, my channel Deep Thought was more to be a all-encompassing thing, is just jumping in on Season 5 for MLP was just the easiest start for me to have on that channel.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
It's all very exciting.
I'm very excited.
Trust me, mine took like less than a minute.
Mine didn't
So,
take
yeah,
I don't review.
I just kind of said reviewing things. So that's our topic, I guess.
Like, yeah. I don't know if you guys are just going to, like, stick around doing pony things. I know once I'm done, I have a few episodes left to go and some theories left to go, but then I'll be jumping on to other shows such as Samurai Jack and whatnot, and Gargoyles.
I'll probably stay doing pony
everybody
things
goes
because
on
modern day cartoons suck. And I don't watch any
Well,
of them
it depends on
except for
which-
MLP.
Depends on which modern day cartoons you're talking about.
Teen Titans
really?
Go, Uncle Grandpa, We Bare Bears was a bad one. I didn't like that at all.
Anything on Cartoon Network. Just, it's all really bad.
There are two.
Avatar was
I don't think
There's-
I don't think Uncle Grandpa is that bad. I mean, Teen Titans Go is that
Did you
bad.
watch the same show?
But, like... What?
I don't know. It just TV doesn't
No,
work
I
for
mean,
me.
like, I saw the collab. I saw the collab that Uncle Grandpa had with Steven Universe, and I really did appreciate how well they were able to mix both of those show styles together to form a really good collab with each other. Like, that's why I'm not so judgmental about Uncle Grandpa. However, Teen Titans Go, it just felt like a really bad adaptation of like some of those anime shows that are like little parodies, little chibi parodies of like the bigger, more successful franchise to like make fun of like the material.
I was only
Yeah,
in Teen
I know,
Titans
but
Go
it
for the
really doesn't
references
do
to
a
the
good job.
original cartoon.
Yeah, but it just it doesn't feel like a good parody.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not. It's a horrible parody. Like, this is how not to do parody. I mean, I've seen people joke about, like, destroying the studio at how bad they've destroyed Teen Titans. Which is a shame, because Teen Titans, first of all, is a really good show with a lot of depth to their character.
And I'm pretty
But
sure
then
they're
you
also
have the
advertising
comic
it
books,
as
which is
your
more
new
intense.
favorite show. That's what it says in the advertisements. Teen Titans Go, your new favorite show, airing Thursdays whenever, I don't know. Even though it's probably the worst show on the network.
I just
Really have,
want
like,
to crush
every time
whoever
that
gave
comes
the
up.
idea.
You know what was a good show, though? And it sucked that they ended it,
What?
but it was after Teen Titans, and it was kind of like Teen Titans, I forget the name of it, Wally West as a Flash in it.
It was was it Symbiotic Titan?
No, it was, basically you had the same Teen Titans crew, except it had Artemis,
Young
the
Justice.
female, Young Justice, yes. And that was a good show. That was a very good show. And then they canceled it, and then they replaced it with Teen Titans Go. Why?
I don't know.
People say that Young Justice was canceled due to having poor sales on its toy line.
Really? That's like
Yeah.
Hasbro canceling MLP. It's like, well, we're not selling as much toys as we were before, guys. We're ending
Instead
it
of
here.
making the show better, they just canceled it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's logic for you.
Like, a lot of people thought that MLP was going to end at Season 3.
Whoever thought that if there's dozens of conventions based around it, thousands of, probably tens of thousands of dollars being made daily from merchandise sales and all kinds of deals like that, and the Brony fandom, it's not going away for like at least another 5 seasons, probably.
Another 5 seasons, another 5 seasons.
I can do another 5 seasons. Unless they just end it. Unless they just end it and say, all like, oh, we can't come up with any more adventures. Instead of making a secondary main 6, we're just gonna start Generation 5 now. Hope you like it.
I hope they just end it. Like, oh, we can't think of anything, like, good to offer anymore, then we won't offer anything.
Yeah, and then they'll wait another 10 years to start Generation 5 and hopefully bring back the old audience back who is now just disinterested at the moment.
Like, having nothing is better than having Generation
No, see, what they'll do is they'll revert back to G3 art style and writing.
Nice. And then they'll try to sell the merchandise to the bronies, who are now 10 years older, 10 years wiser, and 10 years not buying your merchandise, Hasbro.
Yep.
And we'll be like, excuse me for a moment, but remember what made us interested in the first place?
Even if they end the series, I think the conventions are still gonna go on. Like, I think the conventions and the whole Brony fandom thing is still gonna exist and keep making content.
G4. It's not for any other generation. It is for Generation 4. So if they ended Generation 4 and went into like a Generation 5 that was kind of like Generation 2 or 3, people would not be interested.
People would riot Hasbro and tear down the doors and say, bring back Generation 4. Bring back normal-looking Twilight Sparkle.
It would be like that one, as soon as the fans find out, you know, the Rarity's famous catchphrase, how could you?
I can guarantee you, if that ever happens, I'm gonna be at the front door of Hasbro with a picket sign trying to crowbar the door open with it.
And the gasoline in your other hand to burn down all
just a tub of gasoline in my other hand, just like, burn it down!
Burn it down to the ground!
And then there's the one guy who says, wait, if we burn it down, Generation 4 will never come back ever again. Oh yeah, no it won't. Burn it down anyway!
Burn to the ground! Burn,
yeah, that's pretty much what'll happen.
Well,
the Brony riot.
On Generation 5, Generation 4 has already been ended, so therefore they never bring it back anyways.
They'd never bring it back because the studio had already been burned to the ground by the time they'd even thought of it.
And bye-bye Transformers!
No, and then there's... No, what they do, while they're burning it, they send in a rescue team to bring out M.A. Larson, and everyone else just gets to die.
M.A. Larson, you're cool with us. We're not letting you die.
We can't let M.A. Larson die. He's the coolest member of the show.
He is the coolest member of the show.
What about Megan McCarthy? She's still in it.
Nah.
Don't you diss M.A. Larson. M.A. Larson is the best.
M.A. Larson's awesome, but Megan McCarthy, she has her good moments and her bad moments.
M.A. Larson had... Well, I mean, I don't even understand why people blame him for the whole Twilicorn thing. I don't even think it was him who decided that it would happen. I think it was just the Hasbro overlords that told him, oh, write an episode where Twilight becomes a princess. Okay.
People just want to have a scapegoat. Like,
M.A. Larson is that scapegoat because he makes what the fans see as bad and turns it into the best possible thing he can dish out with what he's been given.
Exactly. Even if it's still bad, it's not his fault. You have something.
Like, he has to.
Plus, the whole Twilight thing wasn't even bad in the first place.
Exactly.
It was.
I think people were overreacting due to like the circumstances. Like, oh look.
You know what? You know what?
Yeah, overreacting.
I think they learned from that because when it happened when it happened over a season later with the CMC, not many people were complaining.
Everyone was like, oh yeah, that episode
There were
was
like
great.
a few people who were complaining, but most of the people kind of just learned their whole lesson. Oh, the show's actually going to develop. Let's roll with it.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's like like season 4 and season 5, like they were able to like improve their writing style so much from like what season 3 was. Like
Season 3 was the worst season, honestly.
Season 3 was the worst season. There was like maybe
It was
only 2
it
good
was
episodes.
short. It only had 15 instead of 25 episodes.
13.
13. I can't count. It only had 13 episodes, which is almost half of the normal.
And then the season finale was only 1 episode when it should have been 2, because M.A. Larson himself said this should have been 2 episodes. Like, why isn't this 2 episodes? And they're like, we're not giving you 2 episodes. You have to turn it
We're
into
not giving you 2 episodes. We want to start season 4 as quickly as possible because we know this season is crap.
It wasn't that they wanted to start season 4. They wanted to get on working on Equestria Girls.
Oh, yeah, true.
Well, no. Like, M.A. Larson wouldn't have worked on Equestria Girls. That was Megan McCarthy's thing.
I know, but they just wanted him to finish season 3 so, like, the rest of the animators and the cast could work on it, and M.A. Larson could take his vacation.
Well,
pretty much.
Well, yes,
the vacation that he desperately needs.
And also because of syndication, because, like, the real reason why season 3 was 13 episodes was because they needed the magical 65 number of episodes for, in case if they wanted to, like, sell the rights of My Little Pony syndication to, like, other countries possibly, they can air, like, the first 3 seasons.
It jumped up from the... It jumped from the hub onto
Discovery Family.
Yes.
Discovery Family.
Yeah, Discovery Family.
Because the ponies in the show kept judging the hub sign, and the hub sign got mad, so he expelled them from his channel.
It's like, I no longer want you. Be gone.
So they went to Discovery Family, which almost no one has on television anymore except me. Everyone watches it on online streams now.
That's what I do.
No. Like, it's still there. It's still there. It's still there, like the hub. But it's like people still watched it like via live streams, even when it was originally the hub. You know?
Yeah, I
like,
know, but no one even has Discovery Family. Like, who honestly has that? It's pretty much all dominated by Hasbro content at this point. Except for, you know, the Back to the Future reruns they do every single day.
Back to the Future!
No, seriously, they ran it on October 1st, October 10th, October 13th, October 18th, the 24th. Yeah, that's today.
Wait, there's an...
oh, no. Back to the Future Day as well. Back to the Future Day and today. They called it Back to the Future Month, and they're basically airing every single movie every single day.
Oh, okay.
That's insane!
They need to fill up that time slot. I mean, they don't exactly have too many shows other than their own, which honestly are crap.
I want them to bring back, well, Hasbro can't bring back these shows, but like other networks, because shows like Gargoyles, X-Men, Avatar, The Last Airbender.
You gotta think for a minute. Like, obviously it would be great if they revived those shows, but just think, would today's child audience actually like those shows?
I would.
No. Listen. I don't feel like they should bring back those shows. Those shows ran their time. Those shows, we can't just mess with something that is complete, you know?
We don't want it back. Like, it could be really bad if it came back. Like, it could be crap.
True.
Like what they did with X-Men Evolution.
Like what they did with Teen Titans.
Oh, that, yeah. X-Men Evolution was... I grew up watching the original X-Men animated series, and I grew up watching, like, the other X-Men shows.
I grew up watching Yu-Gi-Oh! On
X-Men
VHS.
Evolution, I kind of liked it, but I also kind of hated it.
Well, I mean, for me, I really did like it. Like, it felt like a really good paced show from, like, what I experienced in my child. That was the X-Men show I was watching. And then when I was older, when Wolverine and the X-Men came out, I really did appreciate that show as well.
I always watch the shows based off the toy lines. Like, you know the ones, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Bakugan, Beyblade. I always watch those because I don't know, I enjoy them for some reason.
You also watch Pokemon?
Oh, for the first few seasons, then it just started not working too well.
You want to know something? Pokemon was always a subpar show. you just thought the first seasons were better than the rest of it.
Yeah, but honestly, like, I enjoy those kind of shows. I enjoy the kind of shows where I can watch it and then go out and basically buy the show. I guess that's why I like My Little Pony so much.
I mean,
And that's why I have a wall of merchandise. Is because I always buy the crap.
In terms of, like, shows like that, I am probably, like, the biggest fan. Because I've watched Pokemon, I've watched Digimon, I watched Yu-Gi-Oh!, I watched Bakugan. I've also watched that new Yokai Watch cartoon right now.
Oh yeah, I haven't actually seen that. I'm gonna need to see that.
I was a little different because when it came to anime, I always watched what you could get like the full season on, and you can go and buy the full season and buy the manga too. So that meant I watched the better shows like Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, Samurai, Champloo. Yeah. And like all those types of shows, which were absolutely great, and like I have a hard time getting into the anime in this day and age. I mean, I'm sure there's great anime out there. It's just I have a hard time getting into it.
True. Like, there's not really the whole Beyblade Bakugan thing. Those kind of shows.
Beyblade!
Yeah, I ended up selling those because like. After a few years, I'll just sell them. I don't have any Bakugan or Beyblade or even Pokemon cards anymore because I just kind of sold them after the show ended or whatever else happened. But those shows, I'm kind of sad now because they don't really exist in the way that they do. Like, they exist, obviously, but every single one of them now is just subpar attempts at making money, while the old ones like Yu-Gi-Oh! And all that actually made a decent show while they were at it.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
I haven't seen Yokai Watch. I haven't seen that. I'm assuming it's really good, but other than that, yeah.
I'm not
Screw the rules! I have money! Oh, can I see your, whatever god card it is? I'm gonna throw this into the ocean.
You're talking about Exodia.
Pretty much.
Exodia, yeah.
You know, in the original Yu-Gi-Oh!, like, the first few seasons, I always wondered, where are the police during all this? Someone's grandfather just got kidnapped, and you're not gonna call the police.
They have better things to do.
Yeah, like, battle with your arch nemesis over a card game.
Exactly. That's
Pretty much. I mean, it makes better television. If they called the police, it would be over in, like, 10 minutes.
Listen,
just have them, like, pinned down. No more Yu-Gi-Oh! For you.
Just, like, rip the Millennium Eye right off Maximilian Pegasus. Just, like, painfully rip it out of his eye socket. So, you're not allowed to have this anymore.
Okay, so, listen. Like, for shows, like, for Pokemon, like, there was, like, a dark age for Pokemon in which, like, actually, like, the worst of that series was actually the Unova arc, in which, like, the Color Palette
that was bad.
And such.
Diamond and Pearl, I actually watched the Sinnoh arc. That was what I thought was the Strikes Back the franchise. Like, I never liked the, like, Ruby and Sapphire kind of Johto. I never liked that arc, but especially because May and her stupid brother and all those other side characters that really annoyed me. Diamond and Pearl was a really nice series. I watched that. I got a few of the movies, actually, and then I just kind of lost interest.
Well, that's totally fine if you don't like Ash, you know? I mean, like, a lot of people don't like Ash.
Yeah, and I have no idea why they're keeping him throughout everything. Like, he's just such a stale character at this point.
I don't know if you guys have seen the, Omake of Pokemon, where it's not Ash, it's Red.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. That was good. That was good.
It was so great. Like, even though it was like Red had simple motivation, it was like he was somewhat different.
I wish the actual series was like
and
that.
He actually evolved his Pokemon. He actually grew as a character. He actually did what Ash is supposed to be doing.
Maybe My Little Pony may have. That kind of brings me back to My Little Pony. Maybe My Little Pony would have dropped off if nothing would have ever happened and Twilight would have never become a princess and all that, because, as we know, Ash can never become the champion, right?
Well,
I would honestly like a series where...
Remember Diamond and Pearl, in which the way to stop Ash from going into the finals was essentially having this guy named Tobias come in and be like, my first Pokemon's a Darkrai.
Lol.
After
yeah,
4 Pokemon fainted, and Ash's Sceptile was the one that KO'd Darkrai, guess what this next Pokemon was?
Arceus.
Latios! And it was like, God dang it!
Yeah, pretty much. It's all like, lol, you're not winning. Just Ash can.
Ash never wins.
I would honestly
Never.
like a series where Ash becomes the champion, and then we get to see Ash face all of the really tough challengers that come before him. I guess that would be a nice series.
Yeah, that would actually be interesting.
Or have Red come in and overthrow Ash.
Yeah, that would happen.
Time for the red arrow to come in.
But it's like you're 10 years in the past. It's my time. You're gone.
but like in like the Pokemon Origin special where Red was the protagonist.
Yeah.
Like you could see like those shades of gray when it came to like Blue's character, who was like what Gary was based off of in the original anime.
Maybe, I have no idea. I didn't pay too much attention to that.
And like how serious the subject matter became. Like in the second episode, they were talking about openly about the death of Cubo's mother due to T-Bombing.
Well, I mean, once they start talking openly about the things Dusclops and Yamask do, then we'll get into some serious stuff.
Wait a minute, don't you mean about like Litwick and Lampent as well?
Oh yeah, I guess you can include Lampert. I kind of just didn't mention him, but yeah, him too. Plus, Chandelure is one of my favorite Pokemon ever because he's a Chandelier.
As long as you don't encounter a wild Chandelure by itself, or else it would literally try to burn your soul.
According to M.A. Larson, he wanted to turn Twilight and Alicorn in Season 4, like the ending of Season 4.
I mean, I honestly, I hate to say this, Mr. Larson, but I disagree with you for once. I think it was a good decision to put Twilight into a princess at the end of Season 3, because it kind of... First of all, Season 3 was a heap of crap anyway, and it needed some kind of saving grace.
Which was Magical Mystery Cure.
Yeah. And it just wouldn't have fit in the 4th season. How would they have done the 4th season? The 4th season would kind of have been a bit stale at that point, since it would have just been the same, write a letter. They couldn't even think up of an original friendship lesson, I bet, because they'd already used all of them in 65 episodes.
Well, I'm pretty sure Season...
It is better that they did in Season 3.
Plus, they could have all kinds of awesome episodes in Season 4. Like the one with cheese sandwich. Oh wait, that could have happened anyway.
Yeah.
That could have happened anyway. Cheese sandwich is still the best one ever.
Opening, like, the pilot episode of Season 4 would have likely changed in some ways, but it wouldn't have changed in other ways. Like, I don't think Twilight would have been in the castle, freaking out about her coronation and about being a princess now. She likely would have been in Ponyville when the vines started to attack.
And being wondering, like, what's going on? I'm gonna send a message to Princess Celestia and Princess Luna, but then the guards will come in and be like, okay,
She's
Twilight
gone.
Sparkle. Princess Celestia.
2! The princesses are missing! You are our only hope, Twilight Sparkle!
What about my sister-in-law, Cadence? Oh, she's too busy in the Crystal Empire to even care about us right now.
She's currently getting it. She's Twilight's brother, Shining Armor's wife.
I was just never mind.
Being sarcastic, yes.
No,
she was getting it on. The guards probably opened the door and like, nope, let's go to Twilight.
Nope, let's go to Twilight. And that would be like one of the most funniest scenes ever, in which the guards actually made one of the most smartest decisions they could have possibly ever done.
Let's go to Twilight.
I'm resisting the urge to say most smartest isn't proper grammar.
I'm sorry, but sometimes the grammar doesn't matter.
I'm the world's biggest grammar Nazi. It's unfortunate, I know.
I would say you're the world's biggest grammar Nazi. I have met worse.
Oh, I don't know about that.
But like,
I keep telling, like, one time a friend emailed me, he's all like, oh, there's there's the fastest new Super Mario Bros. Play, and I'm all like, it's fastest play through, not fastest play, and I didn't even read
like,
the article. I just
not much
said that.
Not much things would change in season 4 except for Twilight Time, in which and Twilight Time and Tradia, in which her princesshood is a focal point. In some cases,
I think with Tradia, she'd be sent as a delegation by the princesses. As for Twilight Time, the cutie marks could have been like, yeah, well, we're working for Celestia's most prized student.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
I don't know. It just wouldn't have been as good, I guess. I don't. It just.
No!
I just have the feeling. The feeling.
That wouldn't have been as good.
The
Really?
feeling.
I think
And they could have changed, like, the entire season 4 into something different.
I know, but then it probably would have been worse because season 4 was actually really good.
But would it have been worse?
How
If Twilight-
would it have been worse if Twilight wasn't an alicorn?
They couldn't.
Because we wouldn't
They
have
just.
had T-Rex. We wouldn't have, like, the...
Well, that would be true. T-Rex
What if-
wouldn't exist.
Here's an idea. Just hear me out here. What if T-Rex is why Twilight became an alicorn in that season ending?
Oh!
That would honestly be a bit stupid.
No, because, like...
Just think about it. Think about it. How was T-Rex defeated? How was he defeated?
Dude,
What does that prove? What does that make Twilight an alicorn for? Twilight became an alicorn in Magical Mystery Cure for helping all of her friends and actually learning something.
Yeah, but she's...
For defeating T-Rex, that's just defeating T-Rex. She don't get to be no alicorn for that.
Yeah, but she only became an alicorn, and Anthony C. brought this up. So, Twilight created one new spell. Starscroll the Bearded created 200 spells. And Starscroll the Bearded learned...
Yeah, but Starscroll the Bearded was male. Males can't be alicorns, you know that.
Yeah, but what about
Big
Big Mac?
Wait a minute. What about the alicorn?
That was his
that could possibly be a
fantasies.
male?
Those were his fantasies, and I'm just messing around.
Or what about the pregnant cadence with a possible male alicorn?
Yeah, but are they born as...
They don't get
alicorns,
born
or would they be
alicorns. I don't think
born as
anyone has
a
been
different
born.
type of, like, would the child be an alicorn, or would the child be a unicorn?
I think it would probably be a unicorn because of shining armor.
Because from what the series has shown, you somehow need to...
Somehow you can take 2 Earth ponies and get a unicorn and a Pegasus, because logic.
Wait a minute, but what would happen if Cadence's genes actually makes the baby into a Pegasus?
Maybe.
That could be...
I mean, anything could happen. Look at the cakes. It was an Earth pony and an Earth pony, and they came up with a unicorn and a Pegasus.
That's because on one side, the father was a unicorn, and on the other side, whichever was a Pegasus. Yeah. And so the genes from those, like, it skipped a generation, and it ended up in their children. And that's how genes often work. Like, I don't have the same talents my parents do, or like the same physical attributes. Instead, I have more of my grandfather's attributes. So that's kind of what they're showing, is that the kid's grandfather or grandmother, they gained their attributes instead of their parents.
Yeah, that totally makes sense, Samuel.
I guess it makes sense. I don't know, my brain hurts after that one, but what if... Here's a conspiracy theory. What if Twilight was the great-great-great-great-grandson of Starscroll the Bearded? What if that happened?
I think that would be pretty dumb.
You mean Twilight is a guy?
No. I just said the great-great-great-great-grandchild.
No,
You said grandson.
Then Twilight's a guy, and you're gonna have to deal with it. We're gonna lose all of the girl. We're gonna lose all of the female audience. You already know I mess up my words way too much. I called the last podcast number 3 instead of podcast number 2.
But what if she's not only related to Starscroll, what if Starscroll was so good at hiding what he did that he ends up with his apprentice, Clover the Clever, they have children, and on that line, Twilight is born.
Or what if Starscroll is still alive, hiding out in a cave somewhere?
No.
And he's like just an...
He's just this, like, 3,000-year-old frail old thing. And he can't even, like, leave the cave. And then Twilight walks in the cave and she's all like, "Beep!" And then Starscroll's all like, oh, hey, can you get me some food? I haven't had much of it in over 2,000 years.
That's gonna be in the Starlight Book episode.
What if Starscroll was the Alicorn of Time?
What if Starscroll was an alicorn? He's not.
Yes, this is where the theories come in. We don't know much about Starscroll. We only know up to a certain point in his history. We don't know what becomes of him. We only hear what Celestia says, but can Celestia's words really be taken accurate if Starscroll was so good at hiding what he did?
I'm gonna need to ask about that at next year's TrotCon.
Oh.
Was Starscroll ever an alicorn? And just pressure GM Barrow into answering me. Just answer me!
Is Starscroll the Alicorn of Time? Answer that question.
And she's all like, no. And I'm all like, oh, really? Oh, okay then. There's like this like massive year-long build-up all the way up until like July, and then you're like, answer me, and she's like, no, and you're all like, oh really? But I've waited a full year for this. You were supposed to say yes.
Yes.
And then she's all like,
yes.
and she's all like, no, it never happened. You just die then and there, and they have to call an ambulance.
But what would happen if she did say yes?
Then I would make a video about it. That would be all.
Starscroll became an alicorn, but he's like hiding away because he can't mess with.
I would be taking video while I was asking her, so I would have the video proof. I would just post that to YouTube, and once it gets seen by everyone, the headcanons start
going.
Cannons just fall.
And we'd be like, we called it.
We called it us at Outliers podcast.
On the Outliers podcast, we called it a full year in advance. And then we become horse famous.
And then we'll become horse famous, and then we won't become Outliers anymore, but we'll still keep
But see,
the name as
technically, I
Memories.
called it before this podcast because I already did a Starscroll video.
Who knows how this thing works?
No one does, except for GM Barrow, and that's why we was ask her about it.
GM Barrow.
So what's so
GM Barrow knows all.
What's so special about GM Barrow?
She's the chapter book writer.
She also wrote the one where I believe she wrote the one in which Pinkie Pie knows. She wrote that.
The one where Pinkie Pie knows.
So she's the one who has the chapters and all of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like she knows the future.
She's a good writer. She's a good writer.
To the future.
Back to the Future Day is over. Discovery family may not know that, but we do.
It's done.
It's done. It's over. You can let Back to the Future go. We don't need another sequel. You can just let it go.
Let it go.
I'm really surprised no one. I am really surprised no one made a sequel and released it on Back to the Future Day. I am really surprised that didn't happen, honestly.
That's probably because the director who did Back to the Future, he said over my dead body.
True.
Well,
they could just get a different. Well, I mean, I guess if he wouldn't sell the license to it.
The rights to it.
If he wouldn't sell the license to it, then I guess. But when he dies, it's gonna go to his children. If he, I'm guessing he hasn't. It's gonna go to his.
We'll have to wait for like another 20 years for that, if not
Good.
more.
Well, yeah, and then good because I don't want another Back to the Future sequel. I know it would be bad.
Because we don't need one. Like
Exactly, but everybody's just
It's like Star Wars. The adventure can end. It can end. It will. It should end.
It should have ended after, you know.
I just really feel Star Wars does not need a sequel.
1 to 6.
They're just making
was
it for
good.
money.
It doesn't need. Like, 7 looks interesting, and I'll give it the benefit of the doubt because it has a new director and new story writer.
No benefits of the doubt from me. I will critique it, and if we're lucky, I'm gonna make a video about it on Scoots. It's gonna be like one of those ramble videos that I just say, "Oh my God, this movie was awful, and you should never see it in your life."
This movie was bad, and you should feel bad watching it.
Just call it The Visit, and, well, it'll be over.
The Visit will be worse. The Visit was the worst movie of all time.
I've never
I
seen
disagree.
it.
It was honestly not as bad as we made it seem.
Oh really? Oh really?
It was dumb, but, I mean...
The camera angles. The camera angles.
I've still seen worse.
Okay, where? From another
Paranormal
Shyamalan
Activity
movie?
5.
What?
Paranormal Activity 5. It was awful.
Oh, that was pretty bad, yeah.
No, you know what? The worst movie. There are several bad movies out there, but one of the worst, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That was another Shyamalan movie.
Yep, it was horrible. It was absolute. I want my $5 back, Shyamalan.
Give me back the $5 I paid for your ticket to see your crappy movie.
Pretty much. There went my $5. I could have spent that on, like...
And M. Night Shyamalan's all like, "I'm a multi-millionaire. I don't have enough money for that."
Multi-millionaire!
And then he's like, "I'm gonna go make another movie where there's a demon in an elevator and toasts lands jelly down."
No, jelly down!
Jelly side down!
Oh,
It was jelly side down.
for the next MLP movie, it's directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
And the toast will land jelly side down.
It actually
Oh,
funny.
and Jelly Side Up.
Toast.
Oh no, like what's supposed to happen? It's supposed to land jelly side up, because if it lands,
live-action MLP movie.
if it lands jelly side up, then it would all be fine, but...
Everyone would literally be like, okay guys, here we go. We need a few of us to go on this covert mission to egg Shyamalan's house, to discourage him from
I wouldn't
continuing
egg
his project.
Shyamalan's house. I would find a way to choke him to death.
Whoa!
Very slowly and painfully, make sure of that. I mean, I already killed Nate's friend with the axe. I still have that axe.
It's like, Axe, meet Shyamalan. Shyamalaxed.
Shamalaxed.
That'll be his next movie title.
Shamalaxed, where Shyamalan just wears a mask from, like, Psycho and just... Not Psycho. And just goes around with an axe, just murdering all of the good movie directors.
And the twist, it was the axe.
No, the twist is that M. Night Shyamalan was actually Robert Rodriguez the whole time. That's the great twist.
Except Roger Rodriguez is actually good.
Yeah, I know, and then he kills himself because he's a good... And then the real M. Night Shyamalan comes in and kills Robert Rodriguez because Robert Rodriguez has actually made a decent movie.
Right.
Other than, you know, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, which wasn't a decent movie.
Well, no, but like...
Arguably Spy Kids.
Or Spy Kids 3D, that was pretty bad too.
I like Spy Kids 3D.
The effects were bad! And I mean, like, I know Robert Rodriguez always operates on a budget, that's just the way he works, but the effects were too bad. They
Like,
just,
how could you?
like, they stood out to me as like bad FMV, and I looked at it and I thought, like, it kind of distracts from the movie how bad it is.
So,
You
before
just
we
think
hit the-
about, wow, that car looks like it was made in, like, SMV or something like that. SFM.
So before we hit the 1 hour mark, here's a question. What do we think the pilot opening of Season 6 will be?
Not Starlight
This
Glimmer.
Now, before Season 6 ever starts...
Not Starlight Glimmer.
Well, of course it's not going to be Starlight Glimmer.
She looks she's gonna die in the finale.
probably
Oh, probably, I mean...
dark. Very
I mean, King Sombra has already...
I know, we've had
Yeah.
we've had a full of one. Might as
We've
well
already
have
had
two.
some death in this series.
Okay,
Except the fans don't know it.
I feel like the
Okay.
series can become a lot more mature, though, if it wants to.
Okay, I have an idea.
Are you gonna tell us?
Oh my god, I just got it. It's gonna be the return of Tyrek, King Sombra, and Chrysalis, and the main six are gonna be beaten, and then what happens? The Outliers podcast comes in to save the day! And we all save the main six, and they're all like, how can we repay you? And we're all like, give us a weekly slot on Discovery Family, please.
And it's like, okay, and then Pinkie Pie just goes over.
And then the next advertisement is The Outliers, Thursdays from 8 to 9, only on Discovery Family.
Because we have nothing better to show you guys.
Yeah. Okay, but I have like an idea. It might be copying from like what the comics did, but I'd like to see a canon reappearance of Queen Chrysalis.
I would too. Like, there wasn't really, for me anyway, there wasn't really a definitive end to the whole Queen Chrysalis saga thing.
No, she just kind of exploded.
She just kind of went,
No, it
just off the map
was
down.
Team Rocket blast off again!
Like, I really want to see like a return into like maybe talking about the politics of like the changeling after they sort of became like a menace to like pony society. Like maybe like learning how to like forgive someone for like their transgressions over a war in order to just feed themselves, you know?
There might actually be a possibility she is returning because we saw a changeling at the Donkey's wedding.
Yeah. I remember so many people made so many conspiracy theories about that, and I'm all like, guys, it's just a joke in a joke-filled episode. Come on.
It's not just a joke.
It's just a joke.
No,
It is not just a joke, it is life.
It is the Ponyville changeling that is now residing there because he is all alone.
I've read the fan fictions. There are a lot of fan fictions about the Ponyville changeling. People think it's Barry Punch for some reason.
Except Barry Punch was there, so it couldn't be Barry Punch.
Yeah, that's
But
what
then
I
who
was saying.
did the changeling replace then? Dun, dun, dun.
I just said that because I saw it in a couple of fan fictions where it was apparently Barry Punch.
Well,
She's
no,
in
like,
the Sister of Social like more than once.
Wait, what if Queen Chrysalis... Here. What if Queen Chrysalis changelinged into a normal changeling and then attended the wedding? What if that was Queen Chrysalis as a normal changeling? Then we would have our canon reappearance of Queen Chrysalis in the bag, and the staff wouldn't have to worry about it.
But what if Queen Chrysalis did come back, what if it was more Twilight learning about why she did what she did? And then there's that episode of
Yeah,
kind
true,
of
but
forgiveness.
what needs to happen if Queen Chrysalis ever does return, it has to be, like, to actually defend against something. Like, she comes in and she defends the ponies, and they're all like, "Ooh, it's Queen Chrysalis," and she kind of,
She returns
I
as
don't
the
know,
spirit
like, we've
world.
been obviously talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! I think she would kind of play a Seto Kaiba role, in where she kind of just helps everyone out, but is all like, "Oh, I only help you out for my own benefit," and
No, I have a better idea. What if the episode is like a distress signal from the Badlands in which Chrysalis and the changelings are currently facing like an epidemic, which led them into thinking about invading Canterlot in order to gain love because of like this predator that seems to like want to like prey on like the changeling love over at the Badlands is now continuing to do so, and they're starting to like lose forces, and then they need to call like the pony. They need to call like someone, and Twilight is the one that answered it. But then Cadence is like, "No, Twilight, don't go there. She's the monster that ruined my wedding." But your wedding went off on a hitch after that. But still,
Yeah, no, it didn't,
never trust a
actually.
changeling. Never trust
Actually,
a
wouldn't it
What if-
technically
see,
be
here's
Cadence
my
getting off?
conspiracy theory with that. I don't know how much you guys know about Fae culture, but what if, because Cadence and Shining Armor are both under Celestia, so what if Celestia brought in Chrysalis to test Shining Armor and Cadence's love for each other? Because oftentimes in Fae lore, they will kidnap the bride or the groom, and it's often a test to see how much the other person is willing to go through to save the person they love. It was all just a test.
Kind of reminds me of Discord, honestly. Like when Princess Celestia called back Discord, and it's all like, oh hey, it's Discord.
Wait a minute. But if that's the case, can you imagine a new buttload of like controversy that might spark between Cadence and Celestia? An actual disagreement amongst the alliance of princesses? Think about that for a season 6 opener.
That would be awesome. But anyway, we kind of passed the hour mark, so that's unfortunate.
Who cares? I mean...
Are we just gonna keep going? Like, it seems like if we have more than 3 people, it's just gonna keep going.
Is this gonna be a thing whenever I enter it goes past the hour mark?
Well, again, yeah. I mean, I kinda gotta go, so...
Okay, I guess we can end it now.
Yeah, we
should leave them with a thought, though. Yes. Something to think about.
Hold on. When this video gets posted to YouTube, which it will, tell me in the comments, what do you think is going to be the Season 6 opener?
Do you feel like changelings are going to make a comeback?
Do you feel like Seto Kaiba is going to come to Equestria and wreck everyone with his Egyptian god monster, Obelisk the Tormentor?
Is Cadence going to have a hissy fit with Anti-Celestia?
I'd love to hear your opinions. This is James signing off until next time. That was supposed to be the that was supposed to be the thing. That was supposed to be the thing.
We're done.
Yeah, we're done. We're done. Cut.